Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to call the meeting to order and acknowledge that we're in Treaty 1 territory and the home and traditional lands of the Ojibwe, the Cree, Dakota people, and the national homelands of the Red River Métis. Our drinking water comes from Shoal Lake 40 First Nation in Treaty 3 territory. My name is Ron Merritt. I'll be your chairperson this morning. Joining us via Zoom are panel members, Mr. Stu McPherson and Miss Diane Knight. Representing the city of Winnipeg is Marina Tenuwara, and our recording secretary is Jason Robertson. To the Zoom participants of the hearing, please note that you will be placed in the waiting room until the property is called upon. It'll be then your opportunity to be admitted to the hearing. Kindly follow along with the City of Winnipeg Board of Revision YouTube channel for the hearing process. Once the host admits you to the hearing, you'll be closed and muted your YouTube player. It'll then be permitted to speak in respect to your property. Once the hearing is concluded, you may leave the hearing. This morning, we'll be hearing application of a revision of the assessment roll according to the Municipal Assessment Act. The matters for which revision is requested has been described in each application, and we'll limit discussions to those matters. Statements that are made at this hearing are sworn testimony, and anybody speaking in these matters must be sworn in. Please be advised that comparisons of assessments of properties are not considered evidence of market value by the Board of Revision. The board is appointed annually by City Council and is independent, along with the city administration, and we make our decisions based on the evidence provided at the hearing and issue a written order that will be mailed to all parties as soon as possible. Please note that the board decision in respect to application may be appealed to the
First Nation in Treaty 3 territory. My name is Brent McIntyre.
Oh, sorry about that. I apologize.
Okay. You can be appealed to the Manitoba Municipal Board if the matter pertains to assessed value of or classification, or to Court of King's Bench if the matter pertains to application from exemption from taxation. Should you wish to appeal, information how to do so will be included in the board's order. Excuse me. In respect to the hearing this morning, I will confirm the points of appeal of your property to be addressed with each applicant following the swearing in. We'll then have the assessor's testimony followed by questions that the applicant may have, and then it'll be the applicant's testimony followed by questions. Each party will have the opportunity to summarize if they wish. Once all evidence about the application has been brought forward, the applicant may leave. The process will repeat for each item on the docket this morning. The session will close after all applications have been heard, and the board will deliberate in private and make its decisions. You will receive the board order by registered mail as soon as possible. As information, all public hearings are live streamed, recorded, and will be part of the public record. This morning, we'll be hearing items 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 on our docket. So I'll ask Mr. Robertson to swear in the assessor, and we will have the applicant sworn in also. So, Mr. Robertson, Assessor, you're ready.
Madam Assessor, please state your full name.
Marina Tenuwara.
Do you affirm that the evidence you are about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. Thank you.
Thank you. You may be seated. Mr. Applicant.
Yes.
Please state your full name.
Jeff Badger.
Do you affirm that the evidence you are about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Badger. You're no stranger to the Board of Revision, so we'll proceed with your property, which is 432 Assiniboine Avenue. Madam Assessor, whenever you're ready, you can take us through this property. And I understand there might be a co-op a statement made by the city, so the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Roll number 120978 03785. Property address 432 Assiniboine Avenue. Property owner Composite Holdings Limited. This property today, first thing I'm asking that I have a recommendation to seeking penalty for this property. I have included all the information why we are seeking penalty. We haven't received income expenses mailer after 2016. The last time we received the income expenses mailer for this property in 2016, signature, it is online submission by Mr. Jeff Badger. And I have page number 11 is a signature card. Page number 12 to last page, it's a mailer we have sent it to the owner. We have, then you can see information attached regarding the income expenses mailer, page number 11 to page number 19, including the mailing information.
All right, so the city is seeking the non-co-op. Mr. Badger, your explanation in regards to the non-co-op issue.
The property is a non-income producing property. It's been out of service for 10 years. This has been described to them before in the past. And as such that for properties that are non-income producing, have lost their occupancy permits, have lost various grandfathering provisions and stuff like that, the property is assessed on a land value, not an income producing value. So as such that an income expense report isn't required.
And that's your grounds for the non-co-op?
Yes. It's been 10 years since this property's been occupied, and it can't be occupied. It's out of service. There's no heat, there's no water. It'll have severe mold issues inside the building. Its only value is land.
Ms. Knight, any comments?
The only question I have is if it's been out of service for 10 years, that would take us back to 2012 roughly, but you did send in an income and expense mailer in 2016. So at that time, did it say that it was out of service? Do you know?
Yes, we said it was out of service. They would require substantial renovations to put it in service.
And did you reply anything back this time? Make a phone call, anything to remind them that it's out of service?
No.
Okay, thank you.
I thank you. Mr. McPherson, questions?
Just clarification, Mr. Badger, you said you didn't send anything in, but did you receive something requesting that?
As part of my, I don't personally receive them or undertake to apply to them. The owner does directly. But it doesn't surprise me because I know that he missed that last cycle, and sent out income expense reports on some of the commercial properties.
Okay, but you don't have firsthand knowledge whether he received one specifically on this one.
Yeah.
And I think your statement was that it's assessed on land value. Is that correct? Or you're saying it should be valued on land value?
It should be valued on land value.
Okay. So it's
not
not
value land
necessarily
value. It's irrelevant. There's no income.
Yeah. No, I thought I heard you say that it is assessed on land value. But
no, I'm sorry. That's the assessment department is assessed it based on the income value, not the land value.
Okay, thank you.
Can I ask a further question? Sorry.
Go ahead, Diane.
The signature on page 11, is that the signature of the owner?
You're asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking Mr. Badger if he knows that signature.
Just scrolling down
Mr.
to it.
Badger?
Yeah, I'm just scrolling down to it. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
'Cause
That's not his signature. I think that was he has someone that sits inside this building.
Okay,
So I don't really know who it is, but I believe it's a guy named
all
Chuck.
right. Okay, thank you.
I just have a question for the assessment department. The letter that was sent out, it was sent to Princess Street. Why would it be sent to Princess Street when the subject property is 432 Assiniboine Avenue?
That's the mailing address in our system because each and every property, we don't send it to civic address. We send it to where they ask us to send it as the mailing address. I believe this is the mailing address for this property. This is went to Composite Holdings Inc. You can see the where it sent it to. I think Mr. Becker can confirm Composite Holding Inc. is located at the 238 Princess Street or not.
Yes, they're located there. Yes.
That means we send it to Composite Holdings, which is as the owner, you can see it's as the owner is the Composite Holding. It's Mr. Becker explained it's not 10 years, not they are operating that business. No one is there in Assiniboine Street. They probably request to send it to the Composite Holdings owner.
I'm sorry. With that was a question.
No,
Are you
it's not a question. It's not a
Okay.
question. It's because it is no one is in the Assiniboine Avenue. I believe Composite Holding Limited requested us to send the income expenses mailers to their address. That's what I believe. And that's what it look like.
Yeah, I'm not. Well, I can't speak whether or not they received it or not. It's obvious as a signature. Someone received it at that address.
All right, Jason, we're going to shut down the camera and we're going to have a panel meeting and discuss this and give you the result in regards to the non-co-op. All right, we'll call the hearing back to order. The panel has discussed the non-co-op issue and will be granted to the city of Winnipeg. So, Mr. Badger, you are to present your case first. The floor is yours.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so the property is 432 Assiniboine Avenue. I just want to go over the current status of the property. It was built in 1894. It was originally a residential property. It was converted going back about 20 years ago. As I mentioned, it was converted and it used to be a beauty shop, and from there it went to be a restaurant. The last tenant left about 10 years ago. The property, they had issues with the heat, so they turned it off. They had issues with the water lines from the city that bursted, and so the property has a bursted water line and it flooded the basement of the property. So it's been sitting vacant for the last 10 years. The property would still have its zoning in place, but with that particular zoning in that area, any sort of new use would require a process to have it approved from a design point of view. The property was converted from a residential to commercial. I mean, that's something, but it was done on the basis of certain grandfathering provisions of the building structure. There's many issues with inside the building, notwithstanding its current repair. But in terms of just taking this building and leasing out to commercial, there's lots of non-compliance issues from the building code in regards to exiting the staircases wide open right to the top, et cetera, et cetera. I'd say at this stage of the game, because the building has been unheated, the mold would now be in the walls, and the cost of updating the building to even attempt to use the structure would probably exceed the new cost of building a building there. So from my point of view, I ruled out in assessing, coming up with evaluation, assessing an income approach is really irrelevant, because you could, even if you did it on income basis, you'd have to go through an exercise of pricing or costing out what it would take to sort of restore the building to that point. I'm currently involved in a couple properties like this right now, and the costs are coming out that complete renovation costs, when you have contaminants like that, like mold that penetrate the walls, exceed the price of new construction. So I would say it's going to be a lost cause for the building. So I just want to go in the definition of market value. We're all familiar with the three different approaches. The one thing I do want to just sort of point out, which is on my page 6, and highest and best use, the use has to be legally permissible and in compliance with zoning bylaws. Well, this property is it? Okay. The use must be probable rather than highly speculative. We're talking here, I mean, what are the costs going to be to restore the structure, to reuse it? I'm saying that it's not, we don't know what those are. So it's not, the use is not probable at this stage of the game to evaluate an income approach. So I would say that the only approach that's left would be the land value. On the land value, I submitted on my page 7 some comparable properties across the board there. I don't know if we need to go into detail, but you see that a good street is on the edge of downtown. There's a large apartment building there now. It's $51 a foot. St. Mary's is now an 18-story apartment building on top of that property. It was acquired at $53. Colony's down at the base of Colony Street. That's at $54. There's a couple of infills over in the River Osborne area at 57 and 59. And the 93 Nassau was at 65. I came up with a value of, I suggested a $55 a square foot, which give you an overall value of $396,000. I want to point out that this particular owner has another property at 440 Assiniboine Avenue. It's about 4 or 5 doors down. We just went through an assessment appeal there. The value there, the board revision, I shouldn't say there was no decision come out of it, but the recommendations from the assessment department was that, and that property is on river property. This particular property is not, it's not on the edge of the river. It hasn't got access to the river. That property at 440 was evaluated at $52.44 a foot. So I'm saying that the value that I'm using at 55 is a reasonable value for it. So the recommendation is to reduce the value. Let's go back from the current assessed value. Hang on, I just got to get that number. $461,000 to $396,000. That's my brief.
Is that your presentation, Mr. Badger?
Yes.
Thank you. Madam Assessor, questions of Mr. Badger?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Do you know about this property still used for the parking? As our record showing 8 parking lots are there. It is used, your owner rent those parking 8 slots for the outside.
Yes, I don't deny they have been renting out stalls.
He has been renting out the stalls for parking stalls. Yes, but
The neighborhoods,
owner does not use anything for the salon, right? As I know, as our record showing, it was closed. It's salon portion and restaurant is closed, but parking is still using.
Yes, the parking is still being used.
Okay, still being used. Okay. Thank you. And the question, this is based on page number 7. Page number 7, your land area is 7,200.
Yes.
As our records, it is incorrect. Because I provided the tools, one GIS map and the survey map showing what is the correct parking, current land area for this property.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't pick up on that difference.
Okay, because is it okay I tell you what is the correct land area?
Sure.
Okay, it is 7,678 square feet. Not
Uh,
7,200 square feet.
Okay, I think the 7,200 might be reflective of an easement on the west side of the property to the adjacent property owners, so they can have access to the property in behind. So I may have altered it to 7,200 to reflect the loss of land on this, the easement on the side there.
No easement on in the sideway, because you are present, you don't have provided any plans for this one. Because I understand where you are coming from for the land value, but if you are using the land value, we have to use the correct land area as per the lot and block plan.
Yes, I understand.
And there anything further?
That's all my questions.
I
Thank
thank you. Ms. Knight? Ms.
So
Knight, question?
Are you
Mr.
agreeing, Mr. Badger, that the land area is 7,678 square feet and you still want to use the $55 per square foot?
Oh, my, yeah, there was an argument. I think it's such a small amount. I'm not overly worried about it. Okay.
Well, it makes a
square
difference
feet.
of like $25,000.
Yeah, my only counter to that would be, and I haven't submitted any information to it, but I did search the title. There is an easement that would reduce a thin strip along the west side of the property, so that you can see a narrow strip of land there, but the driveway had to be larger than that, so they have an easement along the west side of the property that they're. I mean, not 100% of the property would be able to use. They would lose the rights to use. Well, they use it. They can use it both for themselves as well as the neighbor. But I'm not overly worried about the 25. Well, to be frank, I'm not too worried about the difference of 200 square feet.
Okay, thank you.
I thank you. Mr. McPherson?
No, so the building's been vacant for 10 years. And it was originally residential property converted to, was it 100% usage as commercial at one time?
Yes.
Okay, and now it's sitting vacant. If it were to be operational again, could it be used for residential?
Zoning wise, yes. The overall building, yeah, I just priced out. The exact same building. I work for that agency, the University of Winnipeg Community Renewal Corporation. We're redoing some of these old apartment buildings. That the cost is now around like $350,000 a square foot to go there and gut it to make these changes. It's just, yes, it can be economically or from an income point of view, it's not worth it. It's better to knock it down, build a new building.
Okay, so the current building as it stands is cost prohibitive, either residential or commercial use. Is that your contention?
Yeah, the biggest issue there is it's a 2.5-story structure. There's no access. It wouldn't allow you to have an open access off the roof as a secondary means. And the other thing too, there's a large staircase that goes from the bottom up. You can't have open staircases if you have multiple tenants or you have residential. And so they have to build a whole new shaft for, you rip it out, build a whole new shaft. So you just start getting, but it was grandfathered, like 20, 25 years ago, to have that open shaft because it was one commercial tenant, but they won't allow things like that now.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I thank you. Mr. Badger, I guess I'm just looking at this property here, and I think I have a date here of 1890. So
Yeah, that's the original date.
Yeah, was this, is it a historical building?
No,
No. And why wouldn't it be?
well, I don't think the owner would fight it if they tried to, because we would be in a real problem.
What are the plans for this property? I mean,
Probably
it's
not.
been vacant for 10 years, and I think you had said that it's unheated. So, it's mothballed, it's, it's shut up. I mean, what is exactly gonna go on here?
What eventually I believe what will happen will be, like I've been talking to the owners, saying I'm a developer, right? My background. I've been telling them we should knock it down, build, but they're somewhat, it's in a family estate. The mother is 92. She's in a nursing home. There's estate issues and everything. So it sort of sits in limbo. It's been very difficult. They would love to probably lease the land. That's what they would like. Have somebody come in, you build something new, we'll just lease you the land, do a long-term land lease. That's their current wishes.
So the previous, this subject property came up for the Board of Revision before, and they concluded, 415,000. Was that land only value?
I think they presented two at that particular time. Because we were using, in my numbers for that argument, I think I was using like $100 a foot for renovations. So it seemed feasible at the time. I'm pretty sure I had included both approaches to come to the 415.
So presently, the only income that is being extracted from the subject, excuse me, is the parking lot, and it consists of 8 stalls.
Yes.
And like you said, it's tied up in regards to the estate.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I thank you. Madam Assessor, your presentation.
Thank you, Madam. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Property roll number 120978037785. Property address 432 Assiniboine Avenue. Property owner Composite Holding Inc. This property was used as a store. As the store, right? Currently, this property is vacant. And page number 2, you will see where it's located. The total lot, and the parking is behind the building. And page number 3, you will see the pictures of the property. Page number 4 is my comparables. Actually, those comparables we used to just to show the rental rates, what could be in that area. The rental rate is ranging $11 to $15.50, but we use the lowest rate we could find for market-driven lowest rate, because this premise quality is really not in the good condition. We use $10.05. And also we given the 25% vacancy allowance, which reflect the fully vacant building, chronically vacant building, using 25% vacancy rates and model-driven parameters. Retail portion value as the 290,000. There's 8 parking stalls and use $80 per stall rates as surface parking, and use model-driven parameters. Parking stall valuation is 171,000. The total value calculated to be 461,000 for this property. We totally use the income value for this property, because if we use this property as the land value, our land value will be higher than this property income value. Our model river rate for this land area, $85.91, which is higher than higher land value. And if we use this land value will be higher. Even we can use the demolition cost for this building. We will get the so much similar income value like 461,000. So I'm asking to confirm value as it is. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I thank you. Mr. Badger, questions of the assessor?
I guess two questions. One is, if the building's been sitting empty for 10 years, do you agree that it's lost its occupancy permits and it cannot be leased out until such time that someone brings the building up to the new codes and goes through a process of getting new permits?
Because that's not what we could do, because the previous lot used as the salon and the restaurant, we use the lowest rates could use for this type of use, we use $10.50. And also we have given the 25% vacancy until the building was demolished. We cannot convert it to land value. Even though we converted to land value will be higher than what we have right now as the fully vacant unused building for 10 years. Building value is 290,000.
Okay, but there's been no attempt to establish what the cost would be associated with going through a process of making the renovations and to be able to rent it out for even at this value.
No, we don't do that.
Okay. The next thing, what surprised me when you said that $85 a square foot. It was just 3 weeks ago. I was at a hearing. I can give you the dates where you came up with the land value of the property at 440 Assiniboine Avenue, which is a nice open lot. No hassles on demolition. You came at $52.44 a square foot. So I when you say that your land values in the area are at 85, I have a hard time understanding that, to be honest.
Because I want to tell you, because I don't go with the process of land value here. I just tell you what is the model land value we use in the system, because we don't use the model land value, because if we use the model land value, this property value will be higher. We use the income land value, overriding the model land value to go down. If you do adjusted land value is for this property, $59.91. Because it's a technical thing behind the valuation in our system, but we use this property as the income value because that's how we value this property for many years, last cycle, as I know.
Okay, I don't have any further questions.
All right, I thank you. Ms. Knight, questions of the assessor?
I do. On page 2 of your presentation, the lot is blocked out in the purple there. Is that purple space totaled 7,678 square feet, or does it include, so the space that's between the dark purple and the light purple, that is not included anywhere? So that would be like the easement that Mr. Badger is talking about?
No, easement, I am not aware about the easement. For Mr. Badger talking about, the dark purple line is the block and lot area.
Yeah.
I think you can see another road there. That's a thin line of road between 434 and 432.
Yeah.
Which is that area belongs to the lot behind. It is nothing to do with
okay.
that one is nothing to do with this lot.
Okay, I got you now. So that little piece between the 432 and 434 belongs to the lot that's on the river.
Yes, that's nothing to do with this lot.
Okay, all right. Just wanted clarification. Thank you.
I thank you. Mr. McPherson?
Couple of questions. first of all, your photo on page 3, is that a current photo of the property, the building?
I think that's the latest Google picture. That's all. I did not take that picture. It's a Google picture.
I just wondered because it looks quite a bit different than the photo that the applicant has provided, but that's fine. And your reasoning for not using the land value was because the model rate was 85.91, which is significantly
No,
higher.
that's not the reason. We use the income values for this property, given the last use is the salon and the restaurant. We use the income value for the building. And the parking lot is still occupied, still used as the parking lot. Then we have to use the income value for the parking lot. Then I don't know, historically, this property has been used in the income value. I think it's carried forward the historical way of using income value. But I checked what's the land rate could be because Mr. Badger presentation was the base of the land rates. He was asking the land value. Then I checked about what will be our model land rate. I saw our land rates model untouched. It's $85.91. But because of the income value we use, we override the land rate to $59. That means we are okay with using the around $50 land rate there. That's the entire story for your question.
Okay, so you're saying you have to use or you should use the income approach because of the income generated from the parking? Not for the building, right? But for the parking and the potential for the building to generate income?
Yeah, honestly, if this kind of situation, because of the surface parking, we can use the land value. It's not a problem about using the land value. It's this kind of building because our valuation for 461,000 based on income value, not based on land value. That's what I really want to tell you, but I don't have really big objection for here to use for the land value. But we have to use the correct land area and we have to use the market land rates.
And you're saying the market land rate is $59?
$59.91, around $60. It's reasonable because Mr. Badger's information also showing similar kind of rates. Even Mr. Badger's average rent per square feet is $58.36. But the comparable best comparables we can see $59, $65, $66. All of the rates are in the similar range of land rates.
I thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. I just have a couple questions. I did a quick calculation in regards to using $60 a square foot for the subject property, and it comes to $61,000. The same as what you have done for the income approach.
Yes.
Is that coincidental?
It's not the coincidental because we use the income value. Then when we use the income value, technically we have to use the land rates lower than the income value. Otherwise, land value will take it over the property. It's the technical thing behind the valuation, technical matter, but both values are very similar.
For the income approach, you've used a 25% vacancy rate?
Yes.
Chronic vacancy?
Yeah, that's the maximum vacancy rate we can give for any chronic vacant property.
All right, Marina, you have rebuttal information, so I think we'll deal with that now.
Okay, sure. Rebut information is not the very big information. I want to show you subdivision plan, lot number 1, and the GIS plan, lot number 1, has the calculation for the correct area is 7,678. That all my land information, because which is not 7,200.
All right. And do you have more rebuttal?
No, that's all. Only thing I want to show the correct land area.
Okay. Mr. Badger, any questions in regards to the rebuttal? Mr. Badger? Is Mr. Badger
Badger,
around?
you're muted.
I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I have no questions.
I thank you. Ms. Knight, any questions in regards to the rebuttal?
I do not. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. McPherson?
I don't regarding the rebuttal, but I do have a follow-up question for the assessor on the income approach that she's used. If I
That's
may.
fine. You may proceed.
Yeah, thank you. The 25% maximum vacancy, and that's for chronic vacancy. And is that the same for a building that is just sitting vacant that can be leased out versus a building that's I don't want to say gone to seed, but I'm going to say gone to seed, and would need substantial renovations in order to be operational again? Is the 25% maximum the same for both those scenarios?
Technically, right now, yes, but I understand your question. It has the really good value for the question. Yes, technically, we only use 25% vacancy. But I understand the question.
Okay. I thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I thank you. Either party want rebuttal? Mr. Badger first.
All I want to do is maybe just make a clarification. That thin strip of land that the one board member was looking at, no, that belongs to the property in behind, but there is a easement right away. Kavi, I can give you the number that is filed against the property. It's just to deal with that piece of land and adjacent portions of that land onto this particular property, to not to impede on that on that their land, or to impede or give them access if they have to do any work on that land to maintain that access to the back. So there is an easement. I'm not saying that it's a big item. All I'm saying is if someone else has an entitlement to the west side of that property. The only thing I can say, I in my mind, the land value, I don't care what the city's. I'm not too familiar with all the different modeling and stuff like that. Most of the properties I deal with always tend to have a lot of hair on them. They don't fit the modeling example, and that's why I'm here today. My belief is that this should have been appraised on the land value. We can argue about land values, but nothing was done about that. But I presented the land value, and I still attest that the value is the 55, like I said. I also say down the street, what the assessment department presented to us as the land value at 440 Cinnamon Avenue was $52.44. So we'll start talking about 60 or 80 or something like that. I'm at lost.
I thank you, Mr. Badger. Madam Assessor, final word?
No, I'm good. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right. Mr. Badger, thank you for your presentation and results very soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, we're going to go to the next item. I'm not sure, Mr. Newfield, I understand that you are going to be affirmed or not.
Mr. Neufeld is still in the process of joining. Seems to be
Okay.
a
Okay, what do we want to do, panel members? Have him sworn in?
I think
Or
so.
not?
Yeah,
Yes,
for sure.
Nick? Yeah, all right.
Mr. Chairperson, if you'll just bear with me a moment, we seem to have a technical issue with him joining.
No problem.
One
Make sure
moment.
you get his head in there.
I'm just going to put us in recess.
Okay, we'll call the hearing back to order, and the next property we're going to deal with is number 776 Cordon Avenue. Madam Assessor, whenever you're ready, and you can, we'll try to do, oh, I'm sorry. We'll swear in or affirm Mr. Newfield.
Mr. Neufeld, please state your full name.
Rocky Neufeld.
Do you affirm that the evidence you are about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Madam Assessor, whenever you're ready, you can deal with that property, and there is a recommendation on it, so you can briefly describe it.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Property roll number 120224800100. Property address 776 Corridor Avenue. This property used as the retail store, and my original valuation went out 1,908,000. Detailed valuation showing my original brief on page number 6. Today I'm making a recommendation. As you receive the recommendation, you can see my recommendation, how I make the recommendation. Based on the recommendation is a changing of rental rates only. Some rental rates were higher than actual rates. Now it's most of the rental rates are close to the actual. And based on that rental rate change, my recommendation is to reduce value to 1,623,000. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Mr. Newfield, in agreement?
Yes.
Panel members, any questions?
No, sir.
Mr. McPherson?
You did. No, thank you.
All right. Let's go to the next property, which is number 48 Osborne Street. Madam Chairperson, whenever you're ready. And I understand there's a recommendation on this property too, so you can briefly describe it.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Roll number 12032468000. Property address 48 Osborne Street. Property use as the store. You will see the picture in page number 2-3, and original valuation was 1,202,000. Today, I'm making a recommendation to reduce valuation to 962,000. As you can see, it's the only change of rental rates on these two units. Now, current rates are actual rates. They were paid, what they were paid, which is in the market level rates. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Mr. Newfield? Acceptance?
Yes.
Panel members, any questions?
No.
No, thank you.
Okay. Let's go to 401 Graham Avenue. Madam Assessor, whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Roll number 12093630000. Property address 401 Graham Avenue. This property value as a 1,227,000. Today, I'm asking to confirm the value as it is. We will talk about this property. We have to issue supplemental in future for for this property. Today I'm asking to confirm the value.
I thank you. Mr. Newfield?
Yeah, there's gonna be a exemption for the second floor, so confirmation was a joint recommendation by both of us.
All right. Ms. Knight, any questions?
No, sir.
Mr. Newfield, Ms. McPherson?
No questions, thank you.
All right. Let's go to the next property of 75 Albert Street. And Madam Chairperson or Madam Assessor, I understand there's a recommendation, so you can briefly describe that, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Roll number 130608740000. Property address 75 Albert Street. This property has two classifications. One portion is the 60T portion. Original valuation for 60T portion is 1,024,000. You can see my recommendation. And today, my recommendation to reduce that value to 60T portion 60T portion is 970,000. And 40E portion reduced to 290,000 to 275,000. You can see both valuation. Original valuation was in page number 5 to 7. My page number 1 recommendation, page number 1 is 640E valuation calculation, and page number 2 is 60E valuation calculation. These both recommendations on the cap rate adjustment of 8.05 to 8.5, which that is all.
I thank you. Mr. Newfield?
Yes, we're in agreement with it.
Panel members, any questions?
No, sir.
None, thank you.
Okay, we'll go to 412 Graham Avenue, and Madam Assessor, the floor is yours, and I understand there's another recommendation for this, so you can briefly describe it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Roll number 120936760000. Property address 412 Graham Avenue. Property originally valued for 1,526,000. You can see page number 2 has the subject lease information, and page number 3 is the 3-4 is the picture. And page number 6 showing how we value this property originally. And my recommendation will show my recommendation of 1,327,000, which is change of rental rates. Rental rates reduced and cap rate increase. Cap rate reduced too. Based on those changes, my recommendation is 1,327,000 for this property.
I thank you. Mr. Newfield?
Yes, we're in agreement.
Panel members, any questions?
No, sir.
None, thank you.
Okay. Mr. Newfield, thank you for your attendance, and have a pleasant day.
Thank
Feel
you.
better, Rocky.
Yeah.
Marina,
okay, well,
I thank you very kindly for your presentations, and we have heard all the scheduled items of this hearing is now adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, panel members. Have a nice day.
You too, Marina.